EI clinic with Billionaire Bryt. Where we at though? We at ELITEBYTASTYZ. Okay. What's good, everybody? I'm Billionaire Bryt. This is the EI clinic. It is Motivation Monday. Give yourself a round of applause for showing up today. This is a podcast where we talk about emotional intelligence. What is it? How does it look in real life? How do I apply this? The reason why EI is important is because not only is it going to help you be effective with your communication, etc., but also relationship management, stress management, awareness. It even increases your income as a transferable skill. Okay, they say that for every point you increase in emotional intelligence, you add $1,300 to your salary. So if y'all out there in TikTok land, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, if y'all want to add an extra $29,000 a year to your salary by learning this awesome transferable skill that also helps you maintain healthy relationships, then you want to tune in to what we call the EI clinic. Okay, so like regular clinic, we do take some time to I want to say not necessarily diagnose per se, but we just go over real life situations to help you identify where emotional intelligence is in that situation. So I'm really never, and I've been saying we this whole time, but I have a co-host here, Vanessa Philo.
Hi everyone, how are you today? Welcome back to the EI Clinic. We are here today to discuss topics that are very popular right now. If you listen to a lot on YouTube or wherever you get your information from, whether it be social media platform or TV, you hear a lot about emotional intelligence, and I do think it is very important, especially for all of us, women, men. As she said, it adds $2,900.
$29,000. $1,300 per point.
Or $1,300 per point.
Yes.
And that's big to me because
that's huge.
Yeah, that's really big because don't you want an extra $1,300?
I say I will $29K.
Yeah, I will take a whole $29K. I will take a whole another $29K. So that is, I mean, hearing that, I really want to know now. I really want to continue to practice and become emotionally intelligent because if it's going to increase me by $1,300 and give me $29,000, sign me up.
I mean, hey, what's the sign me up an extra transferable skill? Like I guarantee you, go to your boss because there is a statistic that says 67% of managers, people in managerial positions, they don't know nor do they like talking to people or interacting. Like they're actually scared, nervous to do that. So while you're up there being in your management service position, go and tell your boss, hey, I've been increasing my knowledge on emotional intelligence and how that applies to the workplace. I would like to demonstrate this to you in exchange for a consideration for a raise. And see what happens. Okay, let us know. But I know Vanessa is an amazing businesswoman. She is an interpreter. So if you see her doing SimCom, that's talking and signing at the same time, that's why. Because she does have a deaf audience. Okay, and so when you see that, just know that's what it is. She's also a motivational speaker. So let's see what you got to motivate us today on this Monday.
On this Monday, I want to bring up perseverance, something that we all have to practice. And I won't say I've been thinking about how to eliminate those because I'm not confused or I know what I want to say, but perseverance is just something that we all need because every day there is a reason for us not to do it. Every day there is a reason for us to say, oh, this is happening and this is why I shouldn't do it. Or the killer of all is that what I say, like the prophecy demon that we be having, but we already think something is gonna happen. scenario in your head of something that has happened that has not even happened. And that's where perseverance comes in. You have to persevere through those negative thoughts. Persevere through, you definitely may have some physical things on your body that hinder you of not physically getting up, but it's more of a mindset. And you have to persevere through all of that, through all the things that we're bombarded with, persevere through all the social media. We all are distracted by social media. We are all distracted every day with images of images, just images. Nothing, not nothing factual, just images. We're bombarded with images every day, and you have to persevere through all those images of things that you will probably compare yourself to that has nothing to do with you and or that person. So perseverance and understanding and knowing that if you don't complete these tasks, if I don't persevere, what will ultimately happen? Ultimately, if I don't do what I should do, if I don't press through what I need to press through, what will happen and what will not happen. And to me, understanding and weighing those two things, what will happen and what will not happen if I don't persevere, is pretty frightening. So that gets me up to continue to persevere through whatever it is that you have to persevere through. Whether it be a bill that you see and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to tackle this bill? But chopping it down piece by piece and just being persevere through paying that. Maybe you will not get the extra candy and the extra sauce on your chips because you paid that bill. But if you persevere through that and not get the extra chips or the extra sauce today, tomorrow you'll be able to get that extra sauce. If you're not able to go and do the things that you want to do because you're doing something that you know you need to do, just persevere through that. A job that you don't necessarily like, you have to get up in the morning and go to that job. See the goodness in that, see the great, the blessing in that, and persevere through those few moments. Because if you think about the things that you have to persevere through, it only be a few minutes. Think about the conversations that you have in your head that where you're debating and going back and forth. Those conversations probably last about what, 8 seconds, 10 seconds of going back and forth in your head of what you should do and what you should not do and how you should do it. And when you do all that, you have sat there for at least 8 minutes and you haven't done anything. But if you persevere through each and every one of those thoughts, you will get things done. You'll get things done. Persevere through those negative thoughts of telling yourself that you tell yourself, because most of the things that we have to persevere through is ourselves. The people outside of us really don't know what's going on inside of us. So we're persevering through those voices that are in our heads. And whether we want to believe it or not, it doesn't matter how high you are in your profession or how skilled you are. We all have that voice, whatever that voice sounds like, whatever that voice is, that negative voice in your head. You have to tell that voice that's telling you that you are not all that. Yes, I am all that. Persevere through that. That voice that's telling you that you're not skilled enough. You have to persevere through that and look at, as we talked before, look at the facts. What's allowing you to do whatever it is that you're persevering through. So the word for today is persevere. No matter what. If your shoe come off, keep dancing. The shoelace is still keep the other one. They don't know. If you walking and you trip, you know what? Just trip and dance and turn around and keep going. If you drink your water and it gets stuck in your throat a little bit, just cough a little bit and persevere through that choke. You know? If you don't know what to say, you just see like your paper just flip like that. You just persevere through all those awkwardness, and I swear that you will get to where you get to. And what I mean by that is no matter what, whether your shoe fall off, whether the paper flip, whether you forget your lines, whether you didn't do, or even if you procrastinated all day and you ain't did shit, persevere through all that because you still got time. What time is it? Is it midnight yet? Is it? What time is it? It's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You still got 4 hours to persevere through the rest of this day and get up and pick up that shirt and just put it to the side. And you did something today and you persevered through this whole day, through this whole time, and you were able to do something, which was whatever that other thing is. So thank you for persevering through this motivational few minutes that we had together. But just think, persevere, keep going, no matter what. If your shoes fall off, the laces are still on around your ankle. Just keep going. Okay?
It reminds me of those moments where you see these models walking in heels and they break their ankle.
Right.
They still walk.
And they still be walking.
They may not walk very far, but they were still walking.
They still walking.
That's a testimony.
That is a testimony. And you know,
they survived.
Yes, they survived and they kept going. And you know, it reminds me of when my daughter, when they be dancing, sometimes they be dancing so hard, somebody's ponytail come off. And you know that ponytail come off and they still be dancing. They grab it up and just keep on going. That's perseverance.
The show must go on.
The show must go on because the audience didn't know, or the audience see it, but you know, you sweep it up so fast they don't even know, you know? So
they just see your attitude and how you were. It's like when we have a baby and they're first learning how to stand or walk and they fall. Yes. And then they look at you like, should I cry?
Right.
You don't know. You're good. Let's just sit up real quick. Right. You know, so I mean the same thing. I think if we maintain I was thinking about this earlier today, if we maintain the level of access to our minds and our brain that we have with children.
Yes.
You know, the imagination. Yes. The ability to bounce back so fast. Like how many times do you see kids like yelling and screaming at each other and the next thing you know they're playing calm, having a good time.
All the time.
And like they didn't just be like cussed out in Vegas. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, like I wish my sister would try to cuss me out and didn't want to play with me. You know, we got the nerve as adults to feel as if being grown means holding somebody to a grudge or holding somebody to
being so serious.
You know, it's just like, is that really what being an adult is about? That's a whole nother conversation. That's a good question. I think it's something to consider. Is you know, understanding how we go from quickly bouncing back and forgiving people so easily to you hurt my
Well, I mean, I guess so we'll talk about that. How because that makes boundaries, right? Because what if somebody does hurt you and you can't say, okay, the emotional intelligent part of me is saying, okay, but I'm not gonna deal with you though.
Oh yeah, of course. I had a very similar I want to say a situation with a friend where it was like, and I swear I thought about this yesterday, right? One of my friends, her father passed about a week or so before my birthday. Now, my my personality is very giving. It's very like, you know, people pleasing. It tends to be that. So with this friend in particular, she's not people pleasing. She's very self-serving. And so I was talking to her on the phone, and I was just like, this is before her dad passed. I was like, yeah, you know, like what I learned from you is how to be more self-serving. Because when you have an imbalance of people pleasing and, you know, and the selfishness or self-serving or whatever, then it just becomes toxic either way. So what I'm learning from her is how to make it so that I can just, you know, find a balance. And so when her dad passed, I said, hey, you don't have to come. We're going to go to the beach. So you don't have to come. I understand. She was like, no, I want to get out. Not think about it. I said, okay, cool. Long story short, I started her guest to help me reserve a fire pit. She didn't want to get out of the car. She didn't want to see us going to be already ready, and we were already all like. And so I'm getting frustrated from the whole situation. And I'm like, you can't just go sit where the thing is. Like, I'm just asking you to just sit there. And she was just like, it should already be ready. If I have planned it, I was just like, that's crazy because if you asked me on your birthday to do something that small, let's go sit down somewhere so that you can get the main thing that you were wanting from, your experience on your birthday, I do it. And I didn't feel like at that moment that she was being considerate of me and my birthday. Exactly. So this is why when the week after, because she ended up leaving, she was like, you doing too much, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how? It's my birthday. I only asked you to go have a seat. I don't get it. So on one hand, right, and we can talk about the emotional intelligence in this situation. On one hand, I am highly aware of her emotional state. I am very aware that I don't know what it's like to have a parent pass. And I know that this just happened like maybe a week ago. Maybe actually about 2 weeks prior. So I'm like, she's not really available, you know? At the same time, as your friend, who has shown up for her many times, it is so crazy of me to request something of her. And I didn't think so, especially because what I was requesting was literally just get out of the car, go sit, and we'll meet you where you're sitting. That was the request. And on my end, I had to realize that I had to take that stand. Even though it was uncomfortable for me to do that, even though even after the fact, I was still racking my brain because I'm like, she should be calling me because she left my party and I wanted her to be there. One of the main people that I wanted to be there was her. She was there, but then she left. So I was like, where's the consideration for me? I understand that you're dealing with your parent passing, but while you're not, but in addition to that, you're also hurting my feelings. Both can be true at the same time. Now, did I get an apology? Of course not. But with the way that all of that happened, it took a lot of awareness on my part to just even get to the maturity level to be able to say, hey, I know that you're dealing with stuff, and I know that it's not about me. But I'm also wanting her to have the emotional intelligence enough to also see that it's not always about me. So me taking a stand and making it about me, even with her, even if it's at her inconvenience, is me trying to find that balance. And instead of exploiting that or gaslighting me to make me feel like that was wrong, I would have expected like, well, I understand, this is your birthday, you want to go however you want to go. I could have, I just didn't want to. Your feelings are valid. Like that's really all I've been wanting to hear. But instead it was, oh, you'll get over it. So it's like, oh, yes, the question is, are you going to be there when I do? And so I had to go through my process to figure out, like, do I really want this friendship if it's going to be like this or what have you? And I realized at the end of the day, this particular friend has only really defended me less than 5 times in our entire experience. And on top of that, her parents just passed. So I'm going to have some grace. I'm going to offer some compassion. And I'm just going to be able to, apply what I know for me to be able to soothe my feelings, with my need for to be understood. It's like, no, you don't need her to understand you. You already know what the deal is. Do you have the faith? Do you have the grace to be understanding for her? And I decided for a week, I was like, I don't know. I was grappling. But at the end of it, I say yes. Because that's my friend. And so, I mean, all that to say, it took a lot of awareness to get to that point. If I did not have a high level of emotional intelligence, we wouldn't be friends anymore. You know, it would be like, oh, you did this, and I can't believe on my birthday, you blah, blah, blah. Created a friendship. And somebody else would be like, oh, I can't, how you better than me, you know. And I'm like, no, think about it, feel, pray, meditate, think about it, feel, pray, meditate, put it on repeat, think about it, feel, pray, meditate, and then come up. Don't be rash,
Right.
but just respond.
Right.
And so today we're talking about developing self-awareness. When it comes to self-awareness, it's about empathy and self-control.
Yes.
Both of those together.
Empathy and self-control. Because empathy is, I'm feeling what you're feeling. I see your perspective and I get what you're getting. Correct.
Yeah.
And then the
self-control.
Yeah, the self-control is to not go off because you're empathizing with the situation. And those have to happen at the same time.
And I do want to point out too to everyone, empathy does not mean agree.
Yes.
I can empathize with you and disagree with you at the same time. Yeah. How many times you have a friend or a family member or a coworker and they give you this excuse that you just like, oh my gosh, like I really do feel you though. I understand.
So would that be
but you're like, but that's not
is that agree versus is that agree to disagree?
Not exactly.
Oh, okay.
Not exactly. Agree to disagree was when like you're at a stalemate, like, no, I think peanut butter and jelly is a sugar on the iced tea, and the other person's like, I can't stand peanut butter and jelly. Oh, okay. And so that would be an agree to disagree on a fact, right? Okay. But in this case, empathy is really about acknowledging. It's not about validating the person to an extent where they're like, oh, you're right. We're not here to appease the need to be right. What we're doing is acknowledging, hey, I can see why you felt that way. I can see how it was people see on your end. But let me tell you the truth. It might be completely opposite. Yes. Because remember, you have facts. Yes. The interpretation of the facts. Yeah. And the feelings you feel based on your interpretation. Yeah. That's that five. So if you're stuck in your emotions, yeah, that's losing control. That's not self-control. Right. That's not empathy. Right. Empathy is based in the facts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Empathy is based
hey, I see that this is happening. So in my example earlier with my friend.
That was powerful. The empathy is in the facts. So wait a minute.
Hashtag gems.
The empathy is in the facts. So I just want to break this down so we can all understand.
Okay.
Because I'll be, I want to get it right. So when I think it, I know what I'm thinking. So it allows me to react in a certain way. So the empathy, write this down. Empathy is in the facts. So let me make sure I understand that. The empathy is in the facts. So the fact that I know what you're saying, or that, okay, so are we making a scenario out of this? Is my scenario.
Let's use the scenario that I gave you earlier. My friend at the beach. Now that we know the story.
Okay.
Her perspective. Mine. What are the facts?
Okay, so the fact is that her father just had recently passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is that it was your birthday.
Yes.
And the fact is that you had an event that you wanted her to go to, but she was acting some type of way. She wasn't as excited as you would like her to be for your birthday.
Well, not exactly. Not exactly. Um, it wasn't that. It wasn't about her energy around my birthday that I was concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
It was I wanted to do a bonfire,
Okay.
which requires a fire pit.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the beach late in the evening, so all of them are pretty much taken. We're scrambling to find a fire pit and meet other people on this really long stretch of beach. So it's already kind of convoluted, complicated, what have you. So I'm already frustrated with that.
Okay.
Um, her guest
Mm-hmm.
goes outside of the car, says, "Hey, there's a pit here,
Mm-hmm.
but there's some stuff inside." I'm like, "Well, if it's inside, it's probably trash. So
Mm-hmm.
just sit there. We'll meet you where you're at,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll work it out with whoever might show up."
Mm-hmm.
And I called. I said, "Well, hey, where are you guys? Where's the pit? Did anybody show up?"
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, we in the car." Or to just do something outside of being house thinking, which I understood. Okay, of course you need a distraction. On the other end, a certain level of awareness could have alerted her to the fact that maybe my friend doesn't understand or doesn't know how to help me in this situation. Because I have not been in that situation. Neither of us have been in this situation, our other friend had. But we've never experienced in our relationship dealing with death of a close member. So this is new territory for both of us. If you don't tell me what you need, there's no possible way that I would know.
Yeah.
True. And you assuming that I would know what you need is out of order.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you might be in an emotional space where you can't articulate what you need. So that leaves all the onus up to me to try to figure all of that out on my birthday. And I was like, I'm having a hard time with that. And so emotional intelligence, I feel, on her part would have been to at least acknowledge that that's what was going on. I think that would be the empathy that I would look for. On my part, I feel like I expressed empathy by letting her know she didn't have to show up. I think that in regards to control, I feel like I exhibited a level of control because even through my frustration on the phone with her, I didn't say like, "Oh, you're a bad friend for not doing this." Still, I think it was implied. That's my Bible alarm. Um, but yeah, I think that it was implied that I was, because I said that, if I were you, I would do it because I'm a good friend. And so she was, at that point, she felt like I just was talking hella head. She was gonna leave. And I could have said what I wanted to say in my emotion, but I didn't. And I feel like on her part, exhibiting self control would have been to not leave because that was a reaction, not a response. that make sense?
Yeah.
Emotions are our GPS. You know, they help let us know when a need is unmet. And so, in the situation with the beach, my unmet need was I just wanted my friend to support me and help me. I'm asking you for help, and you're telling me no on my birthday. How does that work? That didn't make sense to me. Um, her, yeah, so I'm talking about emotions. So much here. I'm talking about emotions.
Empathy is in facts.
Empathy is in fact our GPS, etc., etc.
You know, saying that makes me think about how
Needs unmet. That's what it is.
the Bible says, "Forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they do." Would that be an example?
That would definitely apply.
Yeah.
It could be empathy. I think forgiveness has a lot to do with self-awareness too. You know, I think that unfortunately in this situation that we're talking about, perhaps the need that my friend was experiencing just happened to be one that no one could. And that's the part that irked me the most about the situation. Because when I asked, what do you need? Even after all of this, I said, what do you need? Well, what I need you can't get. I don't need anything. Like, what do you want? You know, because at the end of the day, I do want my friend to be okay. You know, do you want me to come over like consistently this week? Do you want me to bring some ice cream? What do you need? You know, I was willing to support her in that way.
Yeah.
And I had to accept the fact that she was not willing to support me in the way that I had asked. And I had to ask the question or answer the question myself, was that okay? And could I allow it to be okay? You know.
So what happened? What ended up happening? Did you guys?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, what happened that night? Did you celebrate birthday?
Oh, I did. We did not find a bonfire.
Okay.
I mean, a fire pit. However, we did see a family that was about to leave. That was close by. So I was able to wipe my teary eyes at the time. And we took over their fire pit, and it ended up great.
Okay.
You know, so it was fine.
And she ended up enjoying it herself.
No, she left. She left before we had even got to the fire pit, to the beach.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're talking about needs unmet. Typically, what happens when we have an unmet need, we have some sort of emotion around it. It's like the law that says that you have to have lack in order to experience desire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't desire what you already
Yeah.
have typically.
Yeah.
There's some room there for lack to happen, and then it's like, oh man, I really want some cheesecake right now. You know what I mean? I had it in 6 months or whatever the case is. Yeah, so we're basically experiencing life through the filter of unmet needs when it comes to emotions.
Yeah.
And those unmet needs can lead to anger issues, it can lead to stress, it can lead to, what's the word I'm looking for? Low self-esteem, confidence issues, the inability to just cope with things in general.
Yeah. You know what? I can't see my comments. People are commenting on here, but I can't see you commenting. So I'm sorry if I'm not answering your questions, but I don't see the comments. It may be because of the slow internet Wi-Fi connection that we have.
I'm not sure it's either that or the way your
It says
thing is
slow
set up.
connection.
Okay, that too.
Okay.
We're streaming on literally all devices, y'all, so don't mind us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far as experiencing life through the filter of unmet needs, you have to be concerned with your perception of things.
Yes.
Right? And again, perception has a lot to do with interpretation.
It does.
I want to read the definition of perception really quickly.
Okay.
It says the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses. Yeah, the 5 senses, right? Seeing, smelling, tasting, touching,
But isn't your perception based on your experiences in life?
No.
No? Oh.
Not exactly. I would say more indirectly than like directly.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, your perception is a filter. It's like putting on sunshades.
Mm-hmm.
There's facts,
Mm-hmm.
and there's interpretations,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we tend to form our perspective. It says also another definition of perception is a way of regarding, understanding, or interpreting something, a mental impression. There's that word, interpretation. Also, intuitive understanding and insight. The psychology definition is the neurophysiological processes, including memory, by which an organism becomes aware of and interprets external stimuli. So again, based off of what the senses are getting, the information the senses are receiving, there's an interpretation that happens before the perception is created. And if we're not concerning ourselves with how we are interpreting things, our perceptions will always be jaded. Like imagine growing up in the countryside somewhere and the only access to the outside world you have is television. And
that'd be pretty one-sided.
Right? Exactly. But that's how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
A lot of people barely traveled outside of their little towns or their little cities.
Yeah, because I thought everybody was like the Brady Bunch.
See? Because
I did.
You had one way of living, and then you saw something different on television.
I thought everybody was like the Brady Bunch. I really did. I wanted to be Marsha so bad.
I mean, for me, I wanted to have the house with the yard.
Yeah, and the stairs.
I always wanted stairs.
I wanted stairs. I wanted stairs in my house. Stairs in my life. Okay.
I sure did want some stairs.
I wanted some stairs.
Yeah, I was like, to this day, I was listening to Myron Golden, and he was talking about how when you have like these things that you lack, especially as a kid, you place more value on them when you get older. And he was like, when I was growing up, we never had a new car. All the cars we had bought needed fixing. They needed a new engine, and do this, and do that. And so as an adult, making money, he got tons. His house is like regular schmegular, but his cars, he was like, I'm splurging on my car because he put more value on that because he didn't have that growing up. And that's how I feel about stairs in the house.
You want some stairs? When you get you some stairs, you made it.
Yeah, I want like where I live now. Every time I walk up the stairs, I'd be like,
I think once I get my red door,
it's
a red door for me.
Yeah.
Once I get my red door, I've made it. So when I get my red door, I'm gonna show y'all, and just know that I think that I have made it when I get my red door and my brown hardwood floors. So red door.
I see the house like that in Hawthorne, and I was like,
that's my house. Red door, and brown hardwood floors. I made it. You can't tell me nothing. I have made it. If I give me a red door and some hardwood floors, I'm working on it.
So we know that emotions are basically our mental GPS, and that perception is everything. I want to hop into these last few minutes these tips. Okay, so I have 3 tips on developing your self-awareness, which is empathy times self-control. Okay. I want to point out, while my producer pulls up these slides, I want to point out the importance of increasing your self-awareness. Can you imagine going throughout life not knowing about yourself and you're in your own body?
I know.
You don't understand your feelings. You don't know why you do A, B, C, D. You just aimlessly about. And it's like 50 years of this or 25 years?
I was going to say 46. I was going to say 46 because I'll just be honest. At 46, I get it. And, I was talking to my therapist a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago to be exact. I was talking to my therapist and I was like, I'm getting it now. And she said, for the most part, now I don't know, this is what my therapist said. I don't know. But she said that 50 is the new 30. And most most, not all, but most women find their way now at 50. 50 is it. 50 is the age where you that it takes you. It takes you to 50.
I mean, that's your half century right there.
That's my half century. So I'm 46, so I'm almost there. I really feel like, I'm there. So that's what I'm saying.
I never thought you were 46.
I'm 46 years old. So at 46, thank you. At 46, I feel like I'm getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just okay, here's the getting it line. Can you see the line right here? It's the getting it line. And I'm like right there. My foot just went right over to the get it line. Because I do. I really get it now. I'm a baby getting it.
But baby still getting it.
But I still getting it though. So by the time I get 50, I'm a been and got it. I'm a been done got it. I would have been done got it. Been done got it at 50. That's how I feel. I would have been done got it by 50. But that's what she says. So I got 4 years, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. I got 4 more years. I got 4 more years to be getting ing, to be getting in it.
Like too short?
Like too short. And so then I'm gonna be getting it. Getting while getting is good. Getting while getting you should be. Okay.
See, look, y'all ain't ready.
But I'm just saying.
What's that?
At 46, at 46, I think I got it. I'm on the line. My foot is right over the line. I'm not walking.
What's funny about that line?
But I'm right over it.
What's funny about that line is by the time you hit 50, you get on that line. You're gonna be looking at the next line.
To what? Retirement?
No.
To go in and sit down?
No. Wherever your next level is. Because I'm telling you, the way that we are as human beings, we're constantly progressing. Like we're meant to progress. Right. So now that you get it here, don't think that that's it.
No.
You gotta be prepared to like
get the
now
50.
That you get it, it's like, okay, cool, you got it up to this point. Now what you got is only going to get you so far after that.
Right.
Then you're gonna be like, man, I've been hitting this plateau. It's normal.
I know. Well, I'll keep getting it as I get on down the road. I'll keep.
Not the honest reference.
I'll keep getting it. But I feel
Michael Jackson.
Right. But I feel good. And maybe somebody got it before 46. But I feel confident, and maybe probably somebody's like, "Damn, I don't want to wait till I get to 46 to get."
I think every generation gets it younger and younger.
Right. So they was getting it at 60 because I'm Generation X. Yeah. So those boomers.
Some of them never got it.
Boomers. Yeah. When do you get it, boomers? Did you get it, boomers? Gen X, Gen Z, millennials.
How you gonna put Gen Z before millennials?
Isn't Gen Z before millennials? No.
The audacity.
No, I thought it was
canceled.
Isn't it XYZ?
No.
X. So it's Generation X, millennials, and then Z, and then alphas, and then the alphas and the omegas. Alpha something.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay, but I'm sorry.
Anyway, millennials come before Gen Zers. No, but seriously though,
it's good to
getting it. Yeah, getting it feels good.
Getting it feels good.
And just know, as you're getting it, audience,
as you're getting it,
there's gonna come a time where what you got is not gonna serve you anymore, or not serve you as well as it did when you first.
But you know what I can say is that I'm happy that I'm getting it at 46 because to get it at 50, I think I'm gonna be too tired. I'm tired.
I'm about to be 35 this year and I'm already tired. I'm like, you know what? This world got me jacked up. What are you doing, life? But I'm still learning how to what's the word? The ebb and flow of control. Because there are things that we get to create with the creator and some things we get to be hands off with.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning what that ebb and flow is.
Yeah.
So ultimately speaking, I want to get into these tips. Mr. Producer Man, you got my tips ready? He said, all right. And let me get off of this TikTok.
Hey, I am so sorry. I can't see any of you. Oh, hey, boo. How are you? Okay, they're popping up right now. Hey, you
Okay,
guys.
cool. Oh, where'd he go? Okay, so let's get into these tips for developing self-awareness. Tip number 1, notice. You're going to hear me say that a lot in the EI clinic. Notice your triggers.
Notice your.
Okay? When you begin to identify what is causing a reaction, okay?
That is so
it becomes easier to understand it. It's like Rumpelstiltskin. When in order for him to have power, he had to know the name of someone.
You know, I never know the story of Rumpelstiltskin.
You should look into it.
He got bumps?
Yeah. He's like this ugly looking dude. He's like he collects magical items and whatnot. Anyway, the point is, I like referring to his story because it is a secular way of letting people or reminding people that there's power behind a name. If you are dealing with something that you can't identify, how are you going to fight it?
Yes.
The first thing to getting to know someone is to figure out their name.
Yeah.
Same thing with these spirits. And I know some people in mental health are like, oh, depression is a mental disorder. It can be. But first off, for the average person, it's really a spirit that's been fed way too much. And now it's got its claws dug into you, and you can't seem to shake it. Anxiety is the same way. Being worrisome is the same way. Low self-esteem is the same way. It's like having this little voice around you that starts off small and it says stuff like, you're not worth it. You're not this. And you try to push it off, but then you experience something.
Yeah.
And you refer back to that voice, and now that voice is your interpretation of the fact, when really it's just a fact.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at that as an opportunity to be something else, you're looking at it as a way to define who you are. And you start feeding that belief. That's why I say spirit. So notice your triggers. Notice the things that make you react. They only become as real as you allow them to be.
Yes.
And so with the renewing of your mind, with making new thoughts in replacement of the old ones, it has to be repetitive. You have to have what I call your thought ninja.
Yes.
Strengthened. Your thought ninja is the one that's going to put that red flag on your trigger and be like, this is what's making you upset.
Yes.
This is the need that is going unmet. The next time you get angry, the next time you feel anxious, the next time you feel anything that is of discomfort to you, ask yourself what need is going unmet right now.
Or do you know, for triggers for me, I noticed, and that came with part of the raptor, is the realization. Realizing and accepting and being real why that triggered you.
Yeah, and you have to ask questions.
Yeah.
And that actually leads me to step 2. You have to ask open-ended discovery questions and go at least 5 whys deep. So let me explain what that means. When I say 5 whys deep, let's say you have okay, we'll use the example from earlier, what we've been talking about. I will use the I feel message and say, I feel, what's a good word? I feel neglected when you leave on my birthday. I know that's not really the word that I want to use, but let's just use that.
Okay.
I feel neglected when you don't celebrate your birthday with me and you could. Okay, why? Well, I feel neglected because you're one of the few people that I care about and your presence is important to me. So when you take it away, I feel like you don't love me. Okay, well, why? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Where did that start? How far back does this feeling of abandonment or neglect go?
That's part of that trigger.
And why? And so if I'm not aware of all that backstory, then, and it happens too often, then my automatic reaction is probably going to be anger.
Yes.
Or avoidance, or something like that, because I'm always protecting myself subconsciously. I always gotta try to protect myself and feel good. So I might avoid, or I might just blow up and why they be like, why are you mad? And you can't even really say. All you can say is, well, you made me mad. No. Anger is a secondary emotion.
Yeah.
So what's the real deal?
Right.
Oh, well, I felt abandoned. Oh, okay, now we get into the real. That's what we. That real. Okay. So you want to ask yourself open-ended discovery questions and stay in discovery. Ask yourself questions like why or where did this come from? Why do I feel this way? Where did this emotion come from? You know, anything like that. Go 5 questions deep, 5 whys deep, and just ask yourself why. Same way a kid would. Why? Why? Until you can't answer it no more. And journal about that. That's tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to log and journal your new discoveries. So as you are asking yourself these questions, as you are learning more about yourself, as you're uncovering whatever's under all those year-long band-aids that you've left over those wounds that ain't never healed, you just keep slapping band-aids on top of it.
I know.
When you start peeling those things away, you want to write those things down. Because just writing it, I promise you, just writing it is releasing.
Yeah.
And when you experience something similar to that, you're going to remember, you know what, I wrote about this last week.
You know, I be writing all the time about mine because I really want to know, so I have a long list of, of triggers. I do. And I try to write down why, and be like really, really honest with myself.
You want to be honest and objective.
And objective with myself of the whys. A lot of the, my whys and my triggers, just like everybody, they all stem from when we was little kids.
Yeah.
They all stem from when we were little kids. And I think that is, I know, that's why I'm a really honest person, and I'm learning how to word my words better, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can say anything, it's just how you say it. But as a kid, I would always be told that I was lying. So that's why I'm so honest as an adult. And, it could probably be taken as being rude, or it could be taken as being a person that's really forward. But I try and tell the truth and be very itemized, because I don't want nobody saying I'm lying.
But so let me ask you this. When you are being so honest and truthful and transparent, how does it feel then when someone comes up to you and accuses you of being a liar?
Well, that's where my facts come in, and that's why I'm itemized, because tell me where I'm lying at.
Receipts.
Tell me where I'm lying. Now, maybe they like my delivery, but tell me where I'm lying and help me to word it different. Because a lot of times, you can't say it's unless you do have something where you have receipts to contradict mine. But I just try to be honest. Again, I'm working on my delivery. By the time I get 50, I'll know how to.
And we are going to be talking about communication on the EI clinic as well. So we can definitely dive deep into communication, because I heard that too growing up. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's only because I was always conscious of what I say. Right? I was always not trying to hurt people's feelings.
Right.
However,
yes,
sometimes it is what you say.
Yeah.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
And people forget that it can be both. It could be what you say you should not have said.
You should not have said that.
And sometimes it is just how you said what you said.
Yeah.
If I gave correction to somebody at the workplace, the same way that I give correction to a close friend, I'd probably get called on for HR or something. Because it's just not the place, not the time. There's different ways that it can be done.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is what you say, but that's a whole other conversation about communication. We talk about communication styles, the red flags that come with these communication styles, and which communication style you think you probably should be doing. And you think that you're a communicator, and you're really
not.
You're not.
See, I'm not a communicator. I'm learning through this system. The Raptor has really helped. It's helping me understand and become, in addition to therapy, it is helping me to become a better communicator because I can say that with my honesty and transparent, um, I may not be the best communicator. So by the time I turn 50, I'm gonna have it down. I'll be a lot better communicator.
Yes, indeed. So just as a recap on the 3 tips, we had number 1, notice your triggers. Number 2, ask open-ended discovery questions. And number 3, log and journal your new discoveries. Okay, so you can go back at any time and go, wow, I've grown, or ooh, I'm still messed up.
Because I have grown. I have grown. Now I have grown a lot. And I can say I've grown a lot over the year. Over the year. Not years.
No, yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
Over the
singular.
year. Yeah, the singular. Over the year.
The 1 year. Yeah, for sure.
And that is why I believe in the Raptor so much, because it has assisted me and helped me in my communication skills, because I can say that I may be a pretty transparent, maybe brutal, maybe, I don't know, communicator. So by the time I'm 50, I'm happy.
And that's what we're talking about. I think we'll probably make communication segment maybe a 3 or 4 part series.
Yes.
Just because I do want to hear from you
Other
all.
people.
I'll
yes.
probably
Call
invite
us.
some
Yeah,
guests.
invite
Again,
people to
if you're
come
in LA
in.
and you know how to get to Western and 105th, I need y'all to come down and be part of our audience. We're in a lounge. So bring your little snacks and drinks. We got couches everywhere. You can stay with the snacks. Ryan, stay with the snacks.
I'll stay with the
okay?
snacks. I'm always hungry. If y'all want to DoorDash and
you
send
know,
us
just
some
send us some food.
you can. Y'all know, anybody that knows me, know I will eat it.
That is the way to a woman's heart, I'm telling you.
If you know how to cook, you can send some food or DoorDash.
We'll be glad to taste whatever you send.
I will taste it.
So
I will taste
we like
it.
food sponsors.
Food.
And drink sponsors too. So if you got wine and you need some promo, send us a glass. No, but typically we do go over Reddit to see if there's a situation submitted by a different user to figure out what the emotional intelligence aspects of it is. Absolutely. But since we use my own example throughout, I think we're safe for this particular episode to X that out. Absolutely. Before we wrap up on developing self-awareness, did you have any last words?
Perseverance with what we started out with today is just persevering through all of those emotions, those thoughts, those voices, the depression, the feeling stuck.
Yeah.
Because we're human, and like I said, I don't want to get on here and not be real. Just feeling stuck, and like literally feeling stuck and not even being able to move. But just physically feeling like you cannot move. Because I have felt like that, where it feels like it's just a rock on your chest. And if you want to move, you can't even move. But to press through that, to persevere through that is what I feel is a word that we should keep on repeat in our head this week. It's persevere, because it has a meaning in itself. You don't have to have another word with it to make it have a meaning. Persevere is a word in itself, and it means to just keep going no matter what. And just know, even if they're not liking your post or your picture, they see you. So just persevere. They watching, or even not even watching. It has nothing to do with watching, but I mean to, no matter who's watching, to persevere. No matter who, do you no matter what, that business, that goal, that whatever it is, whether it be to just get up and turn your neck on the pillow one morning, persevere through that. Because there has been a morning where all I could do was turn my neck. And I had to press right. Turn your neck, look.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
We ain't doing this
today.
I want to bring up the definition of persevere just so that everybody's on the same page. We
Right.
will always be looking up actual definitions,
Absolutely.
not just going off what we think the word means.
Right.
So for those wordle people out there, perseverance means to continue in a course of action even in the face of difficulty or with little or no prospect of success. That's exactly what that is. That's in relationships, in job, in life, in mental health maintenance, the whole nine. But I will say this too. Sometimes your perseverance may lead into martyrdom. And that's where discernment and wisdom comes in. So without prayer and guidance and meditating, studying to show yourself approved, you might find yourself on a lopsided side of perseverance. Well, if I just stick it out, it's gonna be. You gotta pray first while you're over there in that toxic relationship situation.
You might have to persevere to get done on the other side, right?
God's like, here's a lifeboat. You're like, what? God's gonna save me. And it's like, I just sent you a boat, a plane, like a raft, So, perseverance is going to keep you on an island by yourself sometimes if you're not adding wisdom and discernment into all of that. That's the way to get that is to connect with the Most High, okay? So with that being said, thank you guys for tapping into the EI Clinic. We went over self-awareness today, developing that. Let's see, the next one, we're actually going to be talking about self-regulation.
Oh, that's a good one. Because see, you guys, this is how this is set up. I am the experiment, and this is the author. So because I need it. I need the raptor, okay? I need this emotional intelligence for this life that God is taking me through. So when I get to 50, I'm going to be all right.
Just so everybody know, too, when she's saying raptor, I have a framework that helps explain how to bounce back. And it utilizes different things like anger management, emotional until after the actual workshop itself starts to take off, but you will see a little sprinkle here and there. Still got some value for you guys. We're going to be talking about self-regulation next week. Discovering effective strategies for managing your emotions and impulses. Impulsive decision making can ruin your life. Okay. Also enhancing your ability to navigate challenging situations with composure. And strategies of maintaining respect when you're out of composure.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's not going to always be regulated. So when it goes off the hinges, you guys be able to reel it on back and still have other people respect you even though they just witnessed chaos.
You have to look. And then they still have to look at you the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to get into that. We got stories upon stories upon stories, okay?
Because I am the experiment.
We live this.
I'm following what she said. So I may get out of character. I may go off a little bit off the curriculum. But as long as we bring it back to the curriculum, it is a success.
It's a success. So thank you guys for tapping in. This is our first official show of the EI Clinic. We have Ronessa here. You have me, Billionaire Bryt. And we will be back. We are live from ELITEBYTASTYZ on 105th and Western.
Do we want to tell them where we're at?
Yes, we do, because we want a live audience at some point.
Okay.
So
it's okay. So come, yes. You guys come. It's gonna be fun. It is fun.
Real fun.
Real fun. Real fun.
Y'all starting to see us at the beginning, but that's just where we starting at. We got levels upon levels upon levels to achieve, and you guys are definitely gonna want to be along for the ride. So,
absolutely.
Peace and hair grease. Y'all got this, and when you don't, God got you. Okay? Yeah. Okay.